Hi, everyone. Good morning. It's Natalie Elisha Gold with the Gold Standard, and I'm here with a dear friend, Jessica Kaufman. Jess, how are you?
Hi, good morning. I'm great. I'm here on Long Island. I've been here since March, quarantining with my family and my childhood home.
How is that going?
Initially, my brother and I came out here for a long weekend, as I mentioned to you a while back, and which became a week and 3 months. And here we are nearly in August. It's been great. We've been updating the house. Currently, we're painting. We've redone the deck, and it gives us a fresh perspective on appreciating where we grew up.
For sure. So, Jessica, you are a broker in New York City,
Mhm.
and I wanted to get your input on where you think the real estate market is going, both in New York and globally.
That's a great question. I think New York City is in its own bubble right now because we live in dorm-like buildings. We're all on top of each other. A lot of people exited in March. A lot of families went out east to the Hamptons. A lot of families went to New Jersey, Westchester, and Long Island to get more space, whether it's a pool or just space their kids could run around and bike and really just have fresh air. Interestingly enough, a lot of other people stayed initially in their apartments, working from home, catching up with friends, and now they're just trying to reevaluate the next year. A lot of families are waiting to see what happens with the Department of Education in the fall to see if they'll have schools. So they're kind of hedging their bets. Perhaps if they went out east, they'll stay for another year, have their kids out in school, and perhaps come back or reevaluate at the end. Although other areas like Long Island, Hudson Valley, Rhinebeck are really booming because people have overlooked these areas for so long and didn't appreciate the space and the fresh air. Now they're hotbeds for families and people who just really want to be out of the city.
Yeah, look, the city's appeal, where I was born and raised and grew up, is truly the dynamic aspect that New York never sleeps, that you can do a million different things in a day and interact with a million different people. And that's just not the reality of what we can do because of COVID. So when you take that and extract it out of New York and you look at what it really is, it's truly, I live on a floor where there's hundreds of other people and I'm taking an elevator with them, and are people wearing masks, and my kids can't go to school and we're stuck in this apartment and they're driving me crazy.
Good crazy, I hope.
So,
Yeah, that being said, my building actually was taking a lot of precaution, only two people in an elevator at a time. Everyone has to wear a mask in the building and hallways. You can't hang out in the hallway. So they've really taken a lot of precautions. I've been very comfortable in my building and walking around. It's just the fact that it's not back to normal.
right. I mean, before I moved out to the West Coast and now in Colorado, we lived in a 35-story apartment building. So I cannot even imagine what it would be with a double stroller. I mean, just my family is more than two people, getting myself, my husband, and my two kids out the door would be a nightmare. Now, many restaurants are closed. So are you seeing prices come down in the real estate market?
Yes. So let's start with the rental market. A lot of landlords obviously have to pay taxes on their properties. Cuomo is looking to increase taxes on the properties not lined with the current rental market. So landlords would like to keep the same rent roll, that they can prove to the insurance companies as well as banks that they have a certain rent roll. However, they're offering concessions, whether it's free rent, broker's fee, later move dates. And they're trying to be flexible in addition to the current tenants, offering them reductions on their current rent or giving them short-term extensions. Now, let's look at the sales market. Interestingly enough, a lot of new developments have vacancies. particularly in the smaller apartments, studios, one beds, maybe even two beds, because people who are looking to buy want more space.
Right.
So if you're looking for a deal, I would say the next 6 months is the time to get a great deal. And I would look at new developments where you have a brand new apartment, everything's fresh and clean, and you don't have to worry about anyone who's been there prior to you. The luxury market, I've seen a lot of purchases coming through in the past couple weeks. People are looking to invest their cash. It's a better return right now than the stock market in terms of real estate, because the numbers are so low and the mortgage rates are so low that they'll see a return in the next few years. On the resales, it really depends where you are, what neighborhoods. I would say the neighborhoods that you call up and coming that aren't in high value, the faster they grow, the faster they fall. Ones which hold value, for example, Upper East Side, Upper West Side, even those in high demand which were unattainable before, Soho, Tribeca, are a great place to start to invest, because you keep with your same budget, but you're ending up getting more for your money than you could have pre-COVID.
How are these investors stomaching that it's truly a hard time to get a tenant who's not paying out?
Well, unfortunately, you can't evict any tenants right now until August. We're not sure when that moratorium will lift, if it'll be extended. A lot of landlords are waiting to get them out. But the problem is, once you get them out, are they rentable? Are they sellable? At what price will you be able to do that? In addition, the commercial retail market is an interesting topic. Right before COVID, it was on a downward.
It was dying. Now I think it has its full fork in it. It's done.
Yes, interestingly enough, I just got a call from an art collective who is looking to highlight these empty spaces and shed light on these communities where there are other uses for the spaces. So we'll see where it goes.
So it seems to me that if you can stomach a few months of no one coming into your retail location, it's likely an amazing time to lease or even purchase, because a lot of these retail owners, I think, would love to sell. Mm-hmm. They're taking major losses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, whereas before, if you were a building owner or property owner, your rental income was okay for a building, but your big chunk of income was from your commercial spaces.
Of course.
It's no longer. And the government's going to start to regulate the commercial spaces in the future. They're going to look at leases. Perhaps landlords got credit for vacant spaces prior to COVID, and that's going to change as well. So I think they'll repurpose the spaces, and like any change, for example, in the past recession or 9/11, it pushes us to the brink where we're going to change how we do business, how we interact with one another. All these great tech companies came out of the last recession. We'll see what's going to come of the future.
For sure. And another thing that came out of the last recession was really the idea of co-working.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder what will happen to that co-working market.
Mm-hmm. Interestingly enough, I think people have had enough from working from home where their kids, dogs are running through a Zoom. There was an interesting article, I don't know if you saw it in the New York Times, maybe a week or two ago, that it was okay for you to be late to a Zoom. It was okay to have interruptions. Now it's more formal. And since we're continuing to work from home, it really has to be professional. People are asking for Zoom rooms now where it can be quiet and they can have their own sanctuary during a professional business call or meeting.
I think that is probably look, a lot of moms especially are taking the brunt of this, because many, need to be part of their kids' lives during the day, and kids are at home. So what I have seen happen is that some people are taking office space just to have that quiet place to go where
Yes.
the kids can't see you, because when they see you, they want you. You know, like I have a beautiful office in my home, and when my nanny is here, she tells me, "Don't come out and see, because once you see them, that's it. You know, they want you, and that's what happens." So
Right.
it's a very interesting time, especially for women, as to the evolving role of what it is to be a mom, a wife, and a career-focused woman.
Hmm. So when you moved to your new home, did you look for a specific space or room you could work from?
Well, I literally saw it on FaceTime. So luckily we came in and I said, "That's my office, best room in the house."
Okay.
Now, Jessica, let me ask you this from a work perspective. Are you and your colleagues considering getting an expertise in a different area than simply New York City? Is that a conversation that's happening amongst brokers today?
Yes, well, I've currently considered expanding to Long Island, perhaps Florida market, which is booming, not only just because of COVID, but because of the taxes in New York City and New York are so great. It's, a lot of investors were looking to move and invest in Florida anyway. It's just great to expand my repertoire and be more knowledgeable in other areas and to be able to pivot when needed.
For sure. And for those who do have expendable cash right now, those lucky souls, right? What is the advice that you are giving your investor clients about what are the moves they should be making in the next 3 to 6 months?
Well, I personally still feel New York is strong. New York will come back. Like Howard Lorber said, everyone has short-term memories. It's just a matter of when we get a vaccine and everyone can go back to normal. However, I still think people will want second homes or retreat. God forbid something else like this happens again, but also to give yourself a break from the intensity of being in the city. In terms of investing, I think we have the next 6 months for buyers to really get something with value, with the low rates and the low prices. After that, who's to know what's going to happen? Will the vaccine be here? I think that's a good window for people who want to buy to do so.
Wonderful. Well, Jessica, it has been a pleasure giving
Yes.
and getting to know you better and getting your fabulous expertise to our viewers. And I hope that it helps a lot of people, and people can feel free to reach out to you, right? Jessica Kaufman.
Yep.
Um, and can you just tell people where they can find you?
Sure. I'm Jessica Kaufman with the Corcoran Group. I can be emailed at jkaufman@corcoran.com, or you can reach me on my cell phone. We can link it to the Zoom video once finished.
Fabulous. Well, Jessica, it's been an absolute pleasure. Have a wonderful day and stay safe out there.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your summer.